Hi, my name is Jason Page. I am doing this video just to demonstrate what I do for immunity health, whether you choose to get vaccinated or not. The real emphasis should be on our immunity health, as well as promoting already good solutions for at-home testing that can be done on a daily basis. What happened in China to eradicate required a communist draconian system that forced everybody to be fed from under their door or their homes and locked inside. Uh, the equivalent of that in a free society like the United States is to provide inexpensive and accessible at-home testing on a daily basis and leave it up to those people that discover that they're infected to quarantine themselves based on their decision not to infect those they love. Uh, so without further ado, I'm going to go over a few of the things that I use to keep my immune system strong. The first thing I use as a preventative and uncertain measure is if I invite somebody over that may or may not have the COVID virus, and I suspect that common practice would be to prevent the virus from getting into your lungs, and after it gets into your lungs, to prevent it at that point from getting into your bloodstream, which the virus could remain dormant in the brain for an undetermined, untested amount of time and reactivate later, or reinfect the host later, and then continue spreading after it had time during its dormant period to mutate. So what I use this for is eucalyptus oil. It's a vaporizer that vaporizes oil, which you breathe into your lungs. And the nice thing about eucalyptus oil is it kills all viruses on contact. So you allow this vapor to go into your lungs, which also eucalyptus heals damaged lungs. I asked my mother to try it when she was experimenting with electronic cigarettes to just get the eucalyptus oil, and she was borderline CPOD disorder, and it instantly put that in remission after like a week of vaping eucalyptus oil. So right now vapes are illegal in Illinois. I don't know about in other cities and states. This is a medical device, and it's a medical equivalent of a vaporizer. And unlike electronic cigarettes, they don't contain ingredients like carpet glue that eventually leads to cancer later. So this is like a preventative and a treatment measure to breathe in the eucalyptus vapor, water vapors into your lungs. Next, as the common phrase goes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Mostly because most apples, especially red delicious apples, which are the most accessible and cheapest ones, are very alkaline. And if you maintain a balanced pH of your body, it would make it less friendly to viruses becoming a host to your body. So that's a very simple solution, but with this virus, I reinforce it with a bunch of other food-based products that gives your immune system what it needs to survive this epidemic, pandemic. With lemon juice and ginger, I make a ginger tea first, and then I add lemon juice to it. Ginger is good for strengthening the stomach, and lemon juice will wash out the throat. So if you have the virus that hasn't migrated to the lungs yet in your throat, it's always safe practice every day, maybe twice or 3 times a day, to wash your throat with lemon juice concentrate with water added to it. So I put like maybe 5 or 6 squirts in a glass and fill it up with filtered water. I don't use Pure filters, and I don't use Brita filters. They're both, totally filter out what they need to filter out. I use a 5-stage and sometimes a 6-stage filter. A product called Zero Water, and I've been using that long before this pandemic started. Another thing that's good is for your brain. A lot of these dried fruits either have fructose or the simplest form of sugar, glucose. And that's what your brain uses and needs in order to keep active. So it's important to stay away from processed sugars like high fructose corn syrup and replace your sugar intake with dried fruits. So I got dates, which have glucose content, and figs, which also have other benefits other than the fructose content. Another thing I do is I drink water out of copper, and occasionally I'll have coffee in the morning, espresso, which dehydrates your body. So it's important to drink plenty of water and store water in copper. Copper is an often taken for granted mineral that our bodies need, that our cells need, and particularly because COVID-19 and any other virus for that matter, SARS or whatnot, kills in contact the virus. It's good to have that copper nutrient in your body, but you don't want to eat copper straight up. There's examples of babies that eat pennies. It's more the case that they need zinc than they need copper, because after 1973, all pennies after that were stamped copper plated with zinc in them. So that's another thing. It's important to have zinc. I didn't bring it out here, but I have a bottle of vitamins I take every night that include Megadose, 1,700 milligrams of C, your daily dose needs of zinc and magnesium, and the most important, D3. There was a study that reported that 80% of deaths due to COVID were people that were vitamin D deficient, either not in the sunlight or not getting the supplements they need. And finally, I use eucalyptus soap in place of hand sanitizer, because what you're doing with hand sanitizer, you're not only killing the COVID-19 virus or other viruses, you're killing everything. So that means your body's immune system is not getting what it needs to keep up and train itself against other bacteria and other viruses that are not COVID-19 that you get. So it's important that your body is constantly getting the workout it needs in order to fight this thing. Using hand sanitizer, I see people doing it compulsively and kind of like OCD. Every time they touch something, they put more hand sanitizer on them. You're gonna weaken your immune system to the point where, the slight exposure to anything mundane to COVID-19 will just kill you off. So those are my basic pointers here for immunity health that I do for myself. I'm not a doctor, and so I can't really recommend these for any particular person. Although since all these are mostly food-based products, it's not a bad idea to just incorporate them into your routine. And if you go to bin.pagetelegram.com/paste.php !11, that'll take you to the sources that I learned about all these treatment methods and health methods to prevent yourself from becoming a friendly host to this COVID-19 virus.